Well, hello there. I'm about to start yet another solo backpacking trip here in Yosemite National Park. This time I'll be going to Vogelsang and the area around it. I'm just starting on the trail and already it is scorching hot and there are thunderstorms gathering. Back home in the bay there was a huge heat wave that hit. It was over 100 degrees on the peninsula and like 110 in Central Valley. So it remains to be seen how hot it's going to get here. And there are also big thunderstorms back in the bay as well, which is highly unusual. So who knows how the weather's going to be up here. It's already about 1:30 p.m. And well, I kind of want to get started before I get rained on. So I'm going to begin hiking. There's some pretty big time thunderclouds around. And there's rain in the distance over Mount Dana. I'm not going to be doing a lot of filming just to keep my camera dry. Right now it's not raining though. It was raining a little bit earlier. This is how it's been for much of my hike today. Kind of a light to moderate rain and a lot of sounds of thunder. But at least it's not as hot. Well, just as I was saying that it was only light and moderate rain, it got really heavy there and hailed for a bit. For maybe 10-15 minutes. You can see that the trail is now a little creek. It seems to be subsiding though, so I think I'm going to start hiking again. I just didn't want to get completely soaked. These lodgepole pines kept me dry. Being out in the wilderness is just I love the unpredictability of it. It's great. By the way, That right there is Vogelsang Peak, which hopefully I'll be summiting tomorrow. I'm headed to Boothe Lake, 0.4 miles. Made it to Boothe Lake. I need to find myself a camping spot now. It's much prettier than I thought it would be. I expected it to be pretty modest. So I found myself a camping site, and quite a gorgeous one at that. I don't have the view of this mountain up to the right, like I did at that end of the lake, but all the campsites over there are taken. So I went over here and I have my own private beach. Look at that, all to myself, with a gorgeous view down the lake and up towards Vogelsang. Some amazing little camp spots too, with good wind cover. I'm gonna set up my tent and then get some food in my belly. Oh, hello and good morning. It is 6 a.m. I got a pretty good night's sleep. It was a very, very calm night. Pretty much no noises at all. Completely silent and still. It was also very humid. A lot of condensation. Pretty much everything I have is a tiny, tiny bit wet.
I'm not going to hang around for too long. I'm not even going to have a warm breakfast because I want to get moving real quick. It's nice and cold right now, and there are no clouds, but that's not going to last very long. It's supposed to thunderstorm later today again, and it's going to get really hot as soon as the sun comes up, basically. So I want to summit Vogelsang Peak, and both of those factors make it very difficult to do so. So the earlier I get there, the better it's going to be. And if I get going up there too late, then it'll be dangerous because of the thunderstorms. And there's no shade, obviously, so it's going to be scorching hot beginning around noon. So given that it's 6 a.m., I think I'll have time, but I have to start now. Wow, this is just so unusual. Already some big, thick clouds coming in, and it's barely 7 a.m. Typically it doesn't happen till like 11 or noon, so I'll be keeping an eye on them. I cannot summit Vogelsang if there's a thunderstorm imminent. Oh, and by the way, I've made it to Vogelsang High Sierra Camp, where those of us intrepid enough can experience wilderness at its most rugged and most wild. I hear the salmon dinner is pretty good too. No, it's closed this year because of COVID, and it also houses rangers up here. But yeah, not really my style. I've made it to Vogelsang Lake, and it's now time to prepare for my ascent. Another little varmint friend. They always seem to show up right as I'm about to attempt to summit. Speaking of which, Vogelsang looks really daunting right now. It looks very steep. I'm not sure the exact way up. My planned route is to go up these slabs here, and then right there, that little scree field, I think, then to the summit. The clouds are a little bit worrisome though. They're not super thick, but you can never know how they're going to develop. Wonder what kind of bird that is. I'm almost to the summit. I've made it to the summit. I can't seem to find the summit register, which is a big bummer, but it is amazing up here. I'll show you the view. Out this way we have more of the cathedral range, including a head-on view of the Mathis Crest. Wonder if anyone's climbing that today. There's Mount Hoffman right there. And panning over, we can see Mount Conness there. It's currently dimly lit because there are a bunch of clouds over it, but it's still beautiful. Also into the Sawtooth Range and Matterhorn Peak. And look at that. It's Half Dome once again from the back angle. On Red Peak I could see it from, well, the dome side. There it is. I wonder if you can spot anybody summiting it. Behind it, just past to the right, you can see El Cap. And I remember through my binoculars seeing Vogelsang Peak from there on my very first trip. And then some familiar faces. There's Red Peak and Merced Peak. Isn't that nice? It's so cool to see them again.
Can you believe? I was on top of that. That's Red Peak right there. And then Merced Peak, I believe, is that right there. Not as good of a view of it. Those are at 11,700 feet, and right now I'm at about 11,400 feet. Made it to the summit in about an hour and 15 from when I started with my day pack. Started about 8:30 a.m. and it's about 9:45. I think the grandest view, though, is out here. It's just gorgeous. You can see Parsons Peak there on the left. I might be summiting that on my final day of this trip. It's not really a peak as much as a plateau. I don't know what mountain that is out there in the center, but it might be Mount Lyell. I think I can see part of a glacier right there, see? It might be Mount McClure, the taller one on the right, and then the far one on the left is Mount Lyell, I would guess. There's Mount Florence, and you can see the lake that I'm going to camp at. Tonight I will be at that lake right there. I can see all the way back down to the High Sierra camp. By the way, that's the trail that came up yesterday. And there's where I camped. At that beach at the far end of that lake there. Okay, it's time to descend. Need to go down this plateau, down that other side, back to my backpack, which is somewhere in there. And then I'm going to go past the lake, over Vogelsang Pass, then descend down to that canyon, and then back up to Bernice Lake. starting to get cloudy. Thunderstorms are brewing. I've never seen these guys before. They're kind of black and white, and they're deep. Made it back. These people look like they're having a good time there. I love having people in this shot. Just shows how big the landscape is. Beautiful Mount McClure. Second tallest peak in Yosemite National Park. Oh, he blinked. This guy just crept up on me. There's two of them. Thing is, this guy's been sort of blocking the trail. I haven't wanted to go past him. But now he's left. Wow, well, that was quite something. At least 3, maybe 4 male deer, bucks, with varying sizes of antlers. And I was just hiking along, kind of my head to the ground, looking at the trail because I didn't want to twist an ankle. It was kind of rough. And then I hear a rustle directly in front of me. I look up, and one of these giant bucks is right in front of me, like maybe less than 10 feet away. And he's looking at me, I'm looking at him, and I just sort of back away and then get my camera out. And they were blocking the trail for a while there, so that's why I got so many shots in. That was pretty special. Beautiful, beautiful animals. Man, I've seen all sorts of wildlife on this trail. Marmot, some bucks, now a handful of grouse. I finally made it to Bernice Lake. I'll show you the whole view in a minute, but I'm gonna first set up my tent because it seems like thunderstorms might be imminent. Wow, what a day out on the trail and off it today was. And a great way to end it. Bernice Lake is gorgeous right now because the sun is actually peeking out a bit while these bigger clouds come rolling in. I am going to wash my feet and do some quote-unquote laundry. It's about 3 p.m. so I have 4 hours to hang out and relax until sunset. Oh, that's cold, but refreshing. Few drops have begun to fall. Here comes the thunder, I think. I heard 1 or 2 distant thunderclaps. I think it's coming here. Well, it's been half an hour and so far nothing. It's 5 p.m. as well, which is usually about the time that thunderstorms start to dissipate. Oh, hey there. And still a question mark. On one hand, I kind of don't want there to be a thunderstorm because then all my stuff would get wet. It'd be a big hassle tomorrow. But on the other hand, I kind of love them. I think the best case scenario is that there's a big thunderstorm out towards those mountains that I get to see and hear, but not experience myself. That's the dream. Well, since I haven't gotten around to doing it before, let me show you my full plan on this map. Just as a large overview, I started up here at Tuolumne Meadows, And then I'm going to do sort of a figure 8 where I come down to Vogelsang, down to almost the Merced River, back up to Vogelsang, over to Ireland Lake, and then back along the Lyle Fork to Tuolumne. My first day going up towards Vogelsang, as you saw, I had a lot of thunderstorms. I camped right there at Boothe Lake, which was a lot prettier than I expected it to be. Then today, I hiked up to Vogelsang Peak off trail, then past Vogelsang Pass, all the way to Bernice Lake. Tomorrow, my plan involves a lot of descending. I'm going to go all the way down to that trail junction right there at 8,200 feet. Back up, maybe have some lunch at Babcock Lake, and then up and up to Emeric Lake, where I plan to stay the night. Next day, day 4, I'm going to go back through Vogelsang, and then all the way over to Ireland Lake, where I hope I'll be able to find a good campsite with some wind protection. And the final day, I'm going to summit Parsons Peak, and then go all the way back down the Lyle Fork to my car in Tuolumne Meadows. As for thunderstorms, looks like there aren't going to be any. Seen lots of big clouds out there, but just hasn't done it. It's threatened all day, but no such storms. Makes for some pretty dramatic scenery, though. Well, that about does it for day number 2. What a day it was. I'll see you tomorrow morning. Good morning.
It is just past 6 a.m. on day number 3. Got a pretty good night's sleep, but I'm still kind of tired for some reason. Maybe I'll take a nap later today. But I want to get going for now because I have a lot of hiking to do, first of all. A lot of downhill, about 2,000 feet worth of it. And then a lot of uphill for about 1,400 feet. And yesterday was not bad in terms of heat because there were clouds. There's threatening thunderstorms all day, but it didn't storm. Today I don't know if it's going to be as cloudy though, and anytime the clouds would pass, or even a moment, it would get scorching hot. And it was really muggy even with the cloud cover. Just very unusual heat right now. So if there are no clouds, then I want to be hiking in the morning and not in the afternoon in the direct sunlight. So, as much as I want to lie around, I'm going to get going. Goodbye, Bernice Lake. You were beautiful. And you had great campsites. Let's get moving. There's Vogelsang Peak, which I was on top of yesterday. Tonight, I should be camping with a view of the other side of the mountain. I'm going to go all the way down a canyon on the left and then all the way back up around to Emeric Lake. This whole forest I've been walking through has been completely dead. Maybe just a handful of living trees. I wonder what's up with that. It's been for at least a mile now, and I remember looking down from Vogelsang Peak and seeing all this dead-looking stuff down this canyon. Maybe it's the beetles? I'm not sure. That's a big waterfall.
So I noticed this morning that it was a little bit hazy looking out towards the Clark Range. And as I've descended towards Merced Lake, it's gotten hazier and hazier. And I can see in the distance, well, you can't really see here, but in the distance it's just completely thick with smoke, and I can smell it. It's not really too bad right here. It's a little bit worse down there where I'm going, but I'm going to go head back up the other side in between those two mountains in that canyon. I'm texting my family and loved ones with my Garmin InReach, and Christina has told me that apparently there's a state of emergency in California because of all the thunderstorms and the heat, and there's a ton of wildfires, and it's just thick with smoke down in the bay. I'm kind of debating whether that's going to change my plans. I might head home tomorrow then. We'll really have to see how it is up at higher elevation, because I don't know when these fires started or how long it's been smoky in the valley, but up at 10,000 plus feet where I've been hanging out this whole time, I haven't seen any smoke at all. And it's only been since I descended down this canyon even that I've seen any. So if it's fine up there, then it's fine up there. But I know from experience that conditions can change quickly, and who knows how things will develop. I don't really want to be hiking in thick smoke though, it's just not good for you. That's what I'll be going up in a minute, to the right side of that big dome. Doesn't seem so smoky here right now. Hey buddy. I made a friend. So I've just started going up towards Emeric Lake instead of towards Merced. It's a beautiful little river gorge here. I'll be going up past the right side of that dome, and you can see in the distance the smoke. Holy crap, it's hot. I've been making my way up the mountain here. That behind me is that dome that I was pointing out on the approach. The smoke isn't too bad right now. It's just a mild inconvenience. I can smell it a tiny bit. It's not really affecting my respiration though. The heat is more what's getting to me. I've been informed that there are huge fires all around the bay, and that parts of South San Mateo have been evacuated and all that. So pretty wild stuff back there. I've also been told that the fires that are in Yosemite and around it are not really close to me. They're in White Wolf, which is quite a ways away. So I'm not really concerned about getting burnt by a wildfire. I'm more concerned about the smoke, and I can see tons of it in the distance. I'll show you in a second. I might skip Babcock Lake just to kind of save my energy. I'm probably not going to be taking a lot of footage of me walking either, just because it's really steep uphill, there's smoke coming in, and it's hot as hell. So that extra exertion is not really welcome right now. Making progress. I'm about to have some food by this river here. This dome looks very climbable though. Maybe someday I'll do that. It's gotten really hot, even hotter, and there's smoke just pouring in. I'm gonna take it easy up the next 500 feet of elevation gain, just because I don't want to be breathing too hard with this bad air. That's what's coming towards me. Oh man, smoke is really getting thick. It's been tough because I don't want to hike too fast because I don't want to exert myself and breathe too heavily, because then I'm breathing in a lot more smoke. But at the same time, I can see this wall of smoke coming from down valley, and I want to hike as fast as I can to get past that. There's Fletcher Peak again, and the mountain that was above Boothe Lake. It's smoky out there too. There's no escape. I'm here at Emeric Lake. I'm going to try to find a campsite, somewhere I can just sit and not hike. Oh, well, I'm at Emeric Lake, and I'm just feeling blech. The smoke has been coming in. It's kind of been about the same for a little while now, but it's thick enough that you can feel it, you can smell it, and going up those switchbacks back there, really could feel it around me and was affected by it for sure. It's beautiful here, and it's been beautiful since I started going uphill down near Merced Lake, but I haven't really been able to appreciate it, honestly. I think I need to come back here someday and really get the full feeling of it, because I've just had to hike, and then the views have been obscured for the most part, and it's been really hot. It's cooled down in the shade now, and there are some big clouds blocking the sun, but for a while there it was just steaming. So the plan for right now is to spend the night here at Emeric Lake somewhere. Usually what happens is smoke at night drifts down into the lower elevations, into the valley, like Yosemite Valley, and then drifts back up here when the wind picks up in the afternoon. So I'm hoping that means that tomorrow in the morning, if I get up early like I have been, just as I've been doing so to beat the heat and beat the thunderstorms, I can beat the smoke. Maybe it'll all be down in the valley and I'll be able to hike without too many problems, the 9 miles back to my car, because it just sucks hiking in the smoke. It's not great at all. Anyhow, I have a lot of time to kill and not a lot of motivation to explore, so I'm gonna set up my tent and read my book for 6 hours or so and then go to sleep.
Oh, does it feel good to lie down? I am just pooped out and unmotivated. There's my tent up there. Just want to show you real quick. Look at this glacial polish. This is more polished than your countertop. That's not a cloud, by the way. That's just smoke. It's a cloudless sky. Just a wall of smoke looking west. So I'm having this Mountain House beef stew. I like my table, by the way. 2 shoes and the lid of a beer canister. Perfect dining table. Anyhow, I'm having this Mountain House meal tonight because it was meant for tomorrow night, but there won't be a tomorrow night up here because I'm going to go home tomorrow. So I'm kind of able to twist my food schedule around to eat the good stuff now. Which I guess is one good thing about what's going on right now. I mean, I would have had it eventually anyway, but I'm trying to look at the bright side. It's hard to look at the bright side generally because it's still like an hour and a half until sunset and it's this dark. I mean, look, it's like the same lighting as if the sun has already gone down. I'm gonna call it a night for filming. It started out a great day and it became a different day and then it became kind of a crappy day. So I'd say it was okay today. Good night. It's like 6 p.m., but good night. Well, good morning. It is day 4 and unfortunately my last day. I wish I could say it was a beautiful morning, but it's quite smoky. Not as smoky as it was late last night. It woke me up. Like it was burning my eyes when I opened them. And no, it was not just because I was tired. It was the smoke. And I could just, you could feel it when you breathe it in. It was not a fun time. I'm a little disappointed though. I was expecting it to be better. As I said, typically it settles in lower elevations, and evidently that hasn't happened all that much. It's early morning. That right there is Vogelsang Peak, which I was on top of 2 days ago. And on the other side of it is Bernice Lake, where I woke up yesterday. Can't really see anything. It's really backlit and smoky. I'm at a crossroads. Either this trail or this trail. And if it weren't for the smoke, I'd be going down the trail on the right. But I'm gonna have to cut my trip short, unfortunately, and that means that Ireland Lake and Parsons Peak are gonna have to wait for another time. I'm being watched. Keep edging a little bit closer. Oh, they ran away finally. Back at Boothe Lake. got about 2.5 miles to go. It's really not that smoky up here at the saddle. As I descend, though, I expect it to get more smoky. You can see those mountains, for example, are pretty hazy. It's not as bad as I thought it might be, though. I'm finally back at the trailhead. It was a pretty nice hike, actually. Saw a lot of wildlife, tons of birds, and at the very end there, saw a mama deer with 2 babies, which nice little finishing touch. I'm ready to get out of the smoke and not be hiking in it, at least. It was a fantastic trip, especially Vogelsang Peak and Bernice Lake. Those were really special. Definitely gonna have to come back. I feel there's a lot more to explore in the area. For now, though, see you later.